The Blacksail Seasonal mechanic is incredibly profitable if you do it the right way. But what's the best strategy to maximize your flame Elementium? This is a surprisingly tricky question. At first, you might be tempted to focus on the big wins. Things like for every 33 magic hero memories, you get one precious legendary hero memory. Or you might be tempted to fish for those 1 in a million, where for every flame fuel that drops, there's a 29% chance to drop flame Elementium. Or you might try focusing on drop rarity, hoping to get 4 legendary items to then drop that sweet, sweet precious legendary. The problem with all of these strategies is they're unreliable. So for the past couple weeks, I've been working with Milky BK to find a strategy that is reliable, something that anyone can do to reliably get flame Elementium from their end reward chest. And here's what we've come up with. The main focus of his strategy relies on Whispers of Wonder, augmented by Whispers of Wealth. This is because all of the Whispers of Armament outcomes are highly unreliable. Sure, sometimes you'll win big, but most of the time you'll go home with nothing. The strategy also takes into account the fact that higher rarity Seal Whispers have a better chance to give you good rewards and should usually be prioritized. And so an ideal setup looks something like the following. Get 3 or 4 Whispers of Wonder with a chance to duplicate Flame Elementium, Embers, and Fluorescent Memories. You want as much duplication as possible because it seems like your dupes can dupe again, and with this multiplicative effect, 1 FE could turn into 8. Then you also want 1 chance to upgrade your Flame Fuel. Yes, Flame Fuel is the focus since that's the most reliable way to get Flame Elementium, and it completely avoids any associated trade taxes. Even if you got a valuable Fluorescent Memory or a lot of valuable Embers, unless you're planning to actually turn the set in or craft with them, you're going to pay the tax, so it's better to just go after raw FE. Now when it comes to chance to upgrade, I like aiming for at least 8%, but sometimes you have to work with what you've got, so do be a little bit flexible. And of course, you also need some base flame fuel to multiply and upgrade. This comes from Whispers of Wealth. They can be obtained early in the process if you're offered a high rarity Whispers of Wealth, or later on in the process once you've established most of your Whispers of Wonder. Try to go for increased chance for flame fuel to appear or adding flat flame fuel. Don't grab additional flame fuel unless you already have another source of base flame fuel, and while you can use gear conversion, it's a little weaker than the other 2 options, though still not a bad choice. Above all, try to be flexible in your application of this strategy. Don't look at things too rigidly, or you might find it hard to make the combo. But a little more about that later in the video when I get into a practical demonstration. But first, let's get into a few best practices before we get into that. Again, prioritize Wonder over Wealth, since an optimal strategy uses 4 to 5 Wonder and 1 to 2 Wealth. However, you also generally want to prioritize high rarity Whispers over low rarity Whispers. So if you're being offered Wealth of all magic or higher versus any rarity of Wonder at all, I'd definitely take the Wealth of magic or higher. After all, that has a much higher chance to get 14 raw flame fuel, which you can always modify or upgrade through future choices. When offered Whispers of Wonder, almost always pick duplication as your highest priority. Though at some point you will want the chance for flame fuel to upgrade, so if you've taken duplication 4 times already, it's probably time to grab that instead, or if a high rarity 8% is offered, then obviously take that over a much lower rarity chance to duplicate. And again, when it comes to the Whispers of Wealth, prioritize directly adding flame fuel or chance for flame fuel to appear among the base gear over the other 2 options, and do try to avoid the additional unless it's your second Whisper of Wealth. It's always better to establish a base and then multiply it, than hope you'll get offered Wealth at an optimal time later, because odds are you won't. The Whispers you're offered are highly random, and you do have to account for that in your application of a strategy. Now if it's offered to you during your first couple Whispers, you can also alternatively pivot the strategy away from flame fuel entirely. For the pivot strategy, it relies on this specific Whisper of Wonder, where for every 20 Fluorescent Memories, you have a chance to drop an extremely precious reward. In this case, you apply much of the same logic. Try to get duplication, and try to build up a base of Fluorescent Memories, then multiply off that base. The only difference is here you won't get any chances to upgrade, so having a few more Whispers of Wealth and a couple less Whispers of Wonder isn't a bad thing overall. But now, let's get into that practical demonstration that I mentioned earlier. First off, my best option was to take Whispers Become Wealth of rarity or higher, and out of the results offered, the 14 additional flame fuel is clearly the best choice. From here, I wanted to prioritize Wonder, and that's exactly what I got from my next Seal Whisper. But I didn't get any duplication, so I pick up the chance for Flame Fuel to be upgraded. Then for Whisper number 3, again, I wasn't really offered any Wonder. I could have taken a random outcome and gambled. Instead, I decided to go for Wealth of Magic quality or higher. After all, the Wealth does offer additional Flame Fuel, which isn't the worst choice. On the 4th seal, back to Wonder, and again, no duplication. The Fluorescent Memory pivot is available, but it's far too late to pivot here. So instead, I just go for chance for Flame Fuel to be upgraded. At this point, I have a lot of base Flame Fuel and a lot of upgrade chance, so duplication really would be nice, but the game just isn't having any of it, instead offering me Whispers of Wealth again, and giving me 14 additional Flame Fuel. So now I've got a really nice base of Flame Fuel. Some additional Flame Fuel would be even better, but yet again, I'm disappointed because none of the options are relevant to the strategy. So as you can see, I'm still following the basic logical premise set out in the strategy. However, I'm not able to pick any of the optimal choices. And yet, after I fought the Ghost Sea Bride and opened up the chest, I still got 11 Flame Elementium for my troubles. This is because the chest had an extremely high base Flame Elementium chance from prioritizing the higher rarity Whispers, and it had a quite high chance to upgrade given that I had 2 instances of it. So hopefully this shows, even when you're not able to follow the strategy directly and you adapt on the fly, you're still able to get an end result that's quite profitable. When it comes to applying the strategy, I can't stress enough that you should use the previous information as a guideline, but then apply your own best judgment. This video was honestly really hard for me to make, because it would be really easy to say do this, do that, and get the perfect result every time. That's every YouTuber's dream when it comes to guide videos. Unfortunately, that's just not the case here. The Seal Whispers offered are incredibly random. Luckily though, by applying this strategy, I have found that I'll consistently get multiple Flame Elementium from the end chest. It doesn't happen every time, but for every chest that has 0 FE, there's one that has 10 or 11, and honestly, that's a trade I'm willing to make. But now I'm curious, how have you been completing the Blacksail content? Have you just kind of done it randomly, thinking there's no point in min-maxing? Did you hyper-optimize around one specific thing, like Embers, Fluorescent Memories, or Flame Fuel? Or have you been going into Whispers of Armaments trying to chase those really big drops? Let me know some of your thoughts, along with strategies you've found consistent success with, down in the comments below. And while you're down there, if you want to see more farming strategies, maybe leave a like and get subscribed. Plus, go subscribe to Milky, who is down in the description. Between me and him, we probably put 30 hours into testing all this, which was a ton of work. And so at the end of the day, making that like bar go burr and big sub number go bigger is a great way to show us that you want to see more of this content. Before I go, a special thanks to my patrons and channel members for the continued support. Now if you're looking for something else to watch, there's going to be a video recommended on screen right now. I'll also have some other related videos up in the card and down in the description below. If you're wondering about my build, don't worry, I've got that there. If you're wondering, is it profitable to farm T8 Traveler? I've got that as well. Plus, if you want some more detailed information, do be sure to check out maxwellgg/torchlight infinite. Link down in the description. But that's all for me today. I hope you learned something, and I hope your Black Sea chests are overflowing with Flame Elementium.